It's about to get sweaty.
Hey, hey, and welcome to round 3 of the Stig Juffer World Cup. This time we're at Zandvoort in Holland, or the Netherlands if you prefer. I always liked your mum's Netherlands. She kept them pretty tidy. Well, as tidy as she could after pushing your massive head out. Juffer massen with them set up there, letting the tyres down a bit, presumably in an effort to obtain more grip, rather than as an act of self-vandalism. And the usual acts of self-vandalism he performs are done with the aid of specialist websites. Onto his first warm-up lap. The tyres on these cars are hard to warm up and take a few laps. Whereas with your mum I was warmed to hard up and only took 1 lap at the most. Very talented girl, your mum. The organisers of this race need to look at their setup, especially with Stig Juffer and his driving style. I call it a driving style. It's more like a driving disaster. Look at where the crowds are standing. Maybe these are all shipped in from Switzerland on a day out from Dignitas. Certainly save on some of the medication costs. That's the first warm-up lap, completed without any major incidents. I doubt very much that will last for too much longer, given the past 2 races. I give it a lap at most before he drops it and kills 20 people. I really do hope none of this crowd have paid large sums of money to get maybe they've let them in for free this time and will charge them the next time. Your mum's sister let me in for free at first. The second time it was 50 quid. Getting a bit squirrely through some of these corners. Still can't push it hard until the car is ready. I do love to push it hard. Need some more resistance though. I wish your dad had held you in his arms for the first time. Look deep into your eyes with love and affection. Tears welling up in his eyes. And then turn to the doctor to ask for a few more stitches to be put in. Too late now. Onto another lap where he should be able to start pushing the speed into the corners. Now, the way Juffer likes to drive is with a lot of oversteer, then sliding on the exit, trying to keep it straight, then putting the power down once he knows he's got the right angle. Insert your own joke about your mum here. He should be getting a nice toe from the car in front. See, I'll tell you who had nice toes. Your dad. Your mum's toes were a car crash. No pun intended. She had feet like a hobbit that had been smashed by an orc's hammer at birth. All twisted, broken and hairy. Awful to look at. Makes me want to vomit just thinking of her toes. Rather uncharacteristically good driving so far from Juffer. I mean, he isn't fast and won't get into the top 10, but he is keeping it on the track and within track limits. The ambulance drivers are relieved, so far as they haven't had to attend to multiple casualties. Yet, that time will be coming, though of that I have little doubt. And although I did just miss a spin. What did he do? Just drop it like it's hot, like it's hot. At least he got going again, and I can't hear any sirens. So luckily, Noon was harmed or injured that time. It's a warning to the crowd, though, to stand further back behind the protective tape. That tape will rip apart faster than one of those novelty prophylactics your mum tends to like. On to a proper flying lap now. You can see that the tyres are starting to grip up. I prefer a grip further down, right close to the hinge. There was a young man with a hinge who liked to put it in ginge. One special young redhead tied to a bedstead. Once ripped it off with her minge. Don't know where that came from. Let's talk about world events for a minute. While Juffer is driving around, what's been happening? People in the UK have been angry at something or other and kicking off all over the place. I understand their anger. We all get angry from time to time. However, I don't see how stealing Crocs from Shoe Zone or pasties from Greg's is going to alleviate the suffering and anger in any way, shape or form. That guy getting hit in the head with a brick before taking one to the nads was my personal highlight. Eunuch Powell, we've started calling him in our house. There once was a gammon in Julie's. He wanted to steal from Woolies. He taunted the coppers and became a cropper when he took a brick straight to his ghoulies. I saw at least the Prime Minister has clamped down hard on these idiots by putting them straight into prison with lengthy sentences. Your mum once uttered a very lengthy sentence when I clamped down too hard on her. I'm sure it tailed off at the end into a foreign language. But I understood, at least, the first half. She was effing and jeffing, loud enough to wake the dead. Luckily it wasn't loud enough to wake the dad. That man could sleep through anything. If sleeping were an Olympic event, he'd win gold. Hands down. The way things are going, it will be at the Olympics soon. Another highlight this week has been the breakdancer at the Olympics, coming in for unwarranted grief at the Olympics. If you're going to have breakdancing as an Olympic level competitive sport, then fair play on her for taking the mick. I thought she was brilliant. Went a bit too deep there. Again, your mum, etc. Don't need to spell it out. Okay, I will spell it out. A-N-A-L. I didn't enjoy it. And for a start, it made my eyes water. I was glad when she stopped. When she said we needed to be on level pegging, I had no idea what she was talking about. Certainly an eye-opener for me. Shares in Preparation H went up that fortnight, I can tell you. While he's spinning like a frog in a tumble dryer, I've been told by the producer to tone down the stuff about your mum. He says it could be construed as slanderous, and I could be sued for my words. In my defense, slander is only applied to something that isn't true. Every word I've said so far is true, and I have the secretly recorded tapes to prove it. The producer has just told me that secretly recording someone engaged in a sex act is also illegal. I did not know that. I wonder if knocking out the VHS at car boots is also illegal. Apparently it is. And so are the aforementioned activities. So for the benefit of the tape, I retract everything I've ever said regarding your mum. I didn't mean your mum, I meant his mum. So that's all cleared up, which is more than I can say about that rash I got from his mum, not yours. So now that we can no longer reminisce about your mum, I have nothing to talk about. I could talk about your aunt a bit more. She cost me a lot of money when I took her up the English Channel. And by English Channel, I don't mean the sea. I'm getting gestures from the producer that make me think I can't even talk about that. So time for another poem, this time in the form of a Japanese haiku. Your mum is the best she has. A cracking big chest, covered in nasty. The producer has collapsed. I'll get him some help, bear with. Let's have a joke. There were these 4 nuns on a bus on the way to visit the Pope in the Vatican. Mother Superior was driving, and they were late for their audience. So she was driving wildly, a bit like Juffer. She took a mountain hairpin too fast and crashed the bus into the valley below, instantly killing all of them. They awake to find themselves at the gates of heaven with St. Peter looking on serenely. St. Peter looks them in the eye and says, "Welcome to heaven, where you shall attain eternal paradise at the right hand of the Lord God Almighty." He motions to the pearly gates behind him and motions Mother Superior to come forward. As she approaches the gates, alarms sound, and a cage appears trapping Mother Superior inside. St. Peter shakes his head and says quietly, "Bride of Christ, it appears your body has been tainted by the penis of a man. You need to wash the offending part of your body in this holy water, after which you can freely enter the kingdom of heaven." Mother Superior looks towards a font of holy water that has appeared next to St. Peter and says, "Apologies, St. Peter. Once at communion, I did stumble, and when I reached out to catch myself, I did accidentally brush against Father O'Malley's robes, which were quite low." Having said this, she washes her hands in the holy water, approaches the gates, sprouts wings and a harp,
and flies off into heaven.
St. Peter calls the next nun forward. As she approaches the gates, alarms sound and a cage appears, trapping the nun inside. St. Peter shakes his head and says quietly, "Bride of Christ, it appears your body has been tainted by the penis of a man. You need to wash the offending part of your body in this holy water, after which you can freely enter the kingdom of heaven." The nun looks to the font of holy water next to St. Peter and says, "Apologies, St. Peter. Once at evensong I did stumble. And when I reached out to catch myself, I did accidentally brush against Father O'Malley's robes." Having said this, she washes her hands in the holy water, approaches the gates, sprouts wings and a harp, and flies off into heaven. St. Peter looks to the remaining nuns and finds them fighting on the floor, kicking, biting, and scratching. Puzzled, St. Peter asks, "Brides of Christ, why do you fight?" And one nun replies, "There's no way I'm washing my mouth out in that water after she's washed her arse in it." That's the end of qualifying. He's not quite at the back, but close enough. Onto the race. Green flag down and they're off. Not a bad start from Juffer, although it looks like he will be arrested for murder following the race. That flagman had a family that loved him. They loved his flag-waving abilities. Now he'll be pushing up the daisies. Juffer will no doubt say he didn't see him, but he did go out of his way to kill him. One death so far. And has one good overtake under his belt. That's not all his belt has to deal with. He's a bit of a porker, is Juffer. A bit of a fatty bum-bum. Yet another thing I'm not allowed to say, apparently. Can I have a list of things I can't see, please, so I know what I'm dealing with here? He does look like he's got damage. I don't just mean his face, I think his steering rack must have been bent when he took that earlier whack. Your mum's rack took a whack. Took quite a few, if I'm honest. My producer is pulling his face again. Look, if you don't like what I say, get someone else in. Okay? I quit.
So Not Murray has just been escorted from the room crying, still gripping his microphone like it was one of his favourite telescopes. I don't know why I'm here, to be honest. I'm not Patrick Moore, and this is not The Sky at Night. I know nothing about any of this, but I will endeavour to do my best. This all seems very stupid to me. This adds no scientific value to anything at all. It isn't of benefit to mankind. It's just overpaid tossers driving around in circles for hours on end. How is this entertaining? It's not even that fast. And look at this prick sliding all over the place. He's driving well beyond his means. Is this what people find entertaining? I miss my telescope. Hell, even doing Games Master was better than doing this, and I didn't understand anything on that. Except the jokes about your mum. Thank God they're no longer popular, unlike your mum. I once dated your mum. I said to her, "Tonight there are only 8 planets left in the solar system." She said, "Why's that?" I said, "Because tonight I'm going to smash your anus." Which doesn't make sense with modern day pronunciation. In the old days it was much better, when we called Venus penis, Mars was arse, and not forgetting planet Girth. You should have heard what we called the constellations. I'm certain you can guess. I left a Milky Way all over your mum. Who's that man in the corner complaining? The producer? What, I can't tell jokes like that? Okay, what about this one? Knock knock. Who's there? The police. The police who? The police were here to arrest you for the recent unrest in which you stole a tray of baked goods from Greg's the Baker's. No? How about this one? My wife went into hospital and they attached little casters to her spine. She went downhill fast after that. Still no? How about the one where my wife and I had a dog? The dog used to do everything the wife said. It would pick up letter, fetch the mail, run to the shops, everything. Until one day it started ignoring her. So she went to the vets, who thought the proliferation of hair in its ears was making it deaf. So my wife decided to get some depilatory cream for the dog's ears. She went to the chemist's and asked for the cream. The man behind the counter took one look at her and asked if it was to deal with her moustache. If so, to use the cream sparingly, so to avoid any reaction. No, she replied. The man looked closer and inquired whether it was for her legs, as he could see hairs poking through her tights. If so, to use slightly more, but not to leave it on for too long. No, she replied, it's for my schnauzer. In that case, the man said, I'd avoid riding a bike for 2 to 3 weeks after using it. I think this guy's going to burst, he's gone that red. What do you mean I'm worse than not Murray Walker? I thought it was quite funny. So you want me to commentate on the racing or be quiet? Okay, got it. There he goes. He's driving. On the same bit of track he's already driven on. He's still driving. There he goes. There are some other people driving too. They're driving where they've already driven as well. This is about as exciting as driving to the shops and back, then doing it again another 27 times. Why do they do it? Who actually cares? I know they want to be the best, but how do they know they're actually the best? They're just the best of those taking part. If you're going to do it, at least give the opportunity to everyone in the world to take part. This is supposed to be a world championship. It should be called the 17 Championship, as there's only 17 of them. I'm calling the marketing department. This is rubbish. Right, I've had enough of this boring nonsense. I'm off. I've written a little song instead for the rest of the coverage. I'm out of here.
Here they are, the 17 men, trying to be the best of the 17 of them. One will win, the rest will lose. They're no better than us. Who gets to choose? Who gets to pick these losers, driving around in circular motion? Who gets to pick these men, causing a ruckus with their commotion? They're no better than you or I. Our driving is probably better. They don't even watching it. One will win, the rest will lose. They're no better than us. Who gets to choose?
Well, that clearly wasn't long enough. Here's another song. Let's hope I don't have to make another one after this. Right, is it over? Finally. Thank the stars above us for that. Where did he finish? 13th place for Big Juffer. Still no points in the World Championship. I really do not know why he continues to bother with this charade. It's pathetic, it really is. Join us next time for Spa. Not Murray might be back if he's released from custody in time. If not, who know who it will be. Bye. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye. No, you hang up.